Hi guys, and welcome back to the fourth episode. I don't know what was getting ready to just come off this thing. I don't know. Episode of Conversations for Liberations, the podcast. I am so excited always to be here with you guys, especially because I have some great energy, some great vibes to bring today. And I'm just going to try to fit everything in because I'm just like a burst of energy today. I am so excited to be bringing the vibes. Look at my outfit. My outfit even entails how I was feeling today. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a real vibe because I wanted to just flow and sparkle and dazzle because I literally been experiencing so much lately, y'all, in terms of every single thing. Like my relationship, I've experienced some kind of weird energy in terms of my podcast. I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off in a couple different ways in terms of business, just trying to fit everything into my life. I've been experiencing a little bit of adversity because I really feel like in real time I'm leveling up. I told y'all what I thought that this podcast would be and why I was so excited, because I knew what it was going to do in terms of changing my life. I knew that the minute that I started really putting my all into this, I knew that it would begin to change my life. And I am very excited about the ways that it has, I've been having conversations with people lately about permanently looking at the glass half full, never looking at your life like you are regressing in any kind of way, understanding that your journey is designed exactly the way that it's supposed to be designed, understanding that there are no hiccups in your journey, and really getting to the point where you feel like this is just where I am, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am, and just accepting it wholeheartedly. And when I tell you, when you look at life like that, it changes your life so much. It makes you really look at life and say, okay, I surrender, God. I surrender in so many different ways. And when you surrender and let God's will be done in your life, oh my goodness, y'all. Sometimes you get to up against walls. Sometimes you get to sit in peace and harmony and look pretty and make everything look like, it is, it's all glamorous and all that, But some moments you just be like, what the heck is going on? But it's all for the good. Everything definitely works together for good. So I'm sitting at the house the other day and I'm looking at a program on, I think it was on FX. I'm more than sure it was on FX. It's called Impeachment. And so this was a kind of like an autobiography and just like a breakdown of Bill Clinton and the whole scandal with him and Monica Lewinsky, y'all. And that triggered 89 different thoughts in me. Okay. So we're going to try to focus today on letting God govern you. And I'm going to give y'all a little bit of my take on politics. Okay? Because y'all know people be having their pennies in a bunch about politics and religion and all of these different things. But this is not that kind of show. This is not that kind of podcast. We will never in life be politically correct. I'm not going to sit in front of y'all and never try to fabricate and act like I'm just this part. You know what I'm saying? I'm real. This is what it is. I told y'all from the first episode that this is how this is going to be. We gonna have conversations some people not gonna like. We gonna talk about a lot of shit that people might not want to hear. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a politician because for the most part, I feel like it's just a corrupt system, just in a nutshell. And so I would never want to embody any other characteristics of anybody in that kind of space. For the most part, I am a spiritual woman. I honor my biblical principles to the best of my ability. I walk in the light. I have values. I have morals and all of them different things. So I just want to tell y'all a couple things that I pulled from the program, of course. And I got a bunch of notes here because that's what I told y'all I would start doing, because for the most part I go off the dome. But this is one of them things that I really had to jot down some stuff. And it was so moving to me, y'all. So for the most part, I just kind of want to bring attention to the fact that I feel like politics is all bullshit. Okay? I feel like the government is all bullshit. I feel like the law is all bullshit. And I feel like for the most part, we need to be focused on getting on the other side of all of this conditioning. I feel like that's what we should spend most of our time doing, especially after COVID, especially after Donald Trump, especially after Joe Biden, especially after Hillary Clinton, especially after Jamila Harris, especially Camilla or whoever. I don't even know her name because I don't know what the hell she be doing, but that's a whole nother story. So, like I said, this episode is called Letting God Govern You and my take on politics. So here we go. So, living in America, to me, is like having a narcissistic parent. You have to completely reconstruct your mind and reconstruct your whole way of being once you get to a certain age to kind of relearn the difference between right and wrong, because this country is so corrupt. Okay? I'm just in a space in my life where I'm just like rebelling against everything and just living out loud, and it just kind of makes me have these unorthodox opinions about so much different stuff, because I'm like, wait a minute, that ain't right, that don't seem right, that don't make sense, right? I was looking at that program and I was just sitting there like, I cannot believe how much shit that went on in that White House. It is amazing to me, y'all, how we are always on the outside looking in. And I just cannot believe how many people I hear say that they are so happy that Trump put at the forefront what his agenda was. I hear people say so much, like, I'm just happy that it ain't, well, they say, what do they say about Donald Trump crazy stuff? They be like, at least we knew with Trump that he was who he was. At least he told us what we was getting. At least he was real about his intentions and was real about what he really felt or what he really was. I don't get that. I don't get how people don't really see that that's propaganda. That's like when we sitting in front of the TV and we looking at Joe Biden get this shot in his arm. And I really want y'all to give me this feedback. Like, I really want y'all to give me some real insight on this stuff, because my thing is, how do we know that that's even the same thing that they injecting people with? That could be water. It could be anything. Like, that's how I think in terms of politics. Literally, like, I do not trust the government. I'm telling y'all. And I do not feel like the government should be governing us. I believe that no matter what, we should learn how to put God first. We got to get on the other side of this condition. The first thing that we have to understand is that this system is built on systematic racism. This system is built for us to constantly be at the bottom and for them to be at the top. Like, once we get to a point where we fully understand that, I think that we'll spend our time more wisely. So let me bring it back to the narcissistic concept, okay? So I feel like it's the same as being raised by someone who's manipulative, self-righteous, who lacks empathy, etc. I feel like you become a product of that. And once you get out of it, then you start to really see and understand that you are at a disadvantage. And with us understanding that we are at a disadvantage, we got to really take that. You know what I'm saying? We got to take that on and understand how behind we are, you know? Which means that we have to start spending our money different. We have to start spending our time different. We have to reconstruct and retrain our whole way of thinking when it comes to certain things, okay? And, you know, a lot of times I don't think that people really understand what we up against. Like, we got to really realize that narcissism is a mental condition in which people feel like they have a superior sense of it. Like, people just have a different sense of entitlement. You know, and I feel like that's how it is with America. That's how it is with anybody in the government. That's why they feel like they can just come in front of us and just do any single thing that they want to do. It's amazing to me how we just don't seem to ever be able to get on the other side of this when we are literally in a position where we get to see firsthand what they are doing. Like, I really feel like the last debate that I tuned in on was Joe Biden and Donald Trump. That was the last time I paid any attention to politics, and it was literally like a freaking roast session. You know how we used to have them roast sessions when we was in high school, and we'd be all in the lunchroom and everybody would be roasting each other. I was like, I've never seen no junk like this in my whole entire life. So, excuse me, y'all. I just want y'all to understand where I'm coming from with this, okay? Because it's like everything that want us to believe genetically about America is a lie. Okay? The development and the infrastructure is a whole lie. The climate of the universe entails that, right? The environmental factors and the climate of the universe right now, especially in the black communities, they focus and force us to settle on ways we don't even realize because we have been so conditioned. I said, which I feel like is a direct result of us not being as spiritual as we need to be as it relates to solutions and redemption. Okay? Because I think that, okay, so we understand the problem, right? We've been talking about the problem for years. We understand what the problem is. Right now is the time for us to focus on solutions. Okay? And the thing is, it is so hard for us to focus on solutions because we are so conditioned to just do the wrong things. Especially not with social media, right? Because for me, I think that what helped me to really regain my strength mentally and how to reconstruct my thoughts and retrain my mind, I started reading more. I started taking more time reading and taking less time on social media. And so now that we are in this space where technology is leading us and social media is leading us, we cannot focus on the solution because we are so distracted. I also want to call attention to The Social Dilemma. Everybody should watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix because that'll tell you how social media is making everybody robotic, just in a nutshell. And so we got to get on the other side of all of that too. So when I feel like we can start really getting to a point where we start putting our spiritual health first, we start putting our mental health first, then we can get on the other side of the conditioning, right? Okay, right? So let me read some more notes from, this is all triggered from the show, of course, right? So of course we know that we are conditioned, and we are conditioned in a way where they use our weaknesses against us. So this is called systematic racism, so to speak. Like I said, I hear way too many people who say, I'd rather have Trump. I'd rather have Trump. And it's like, you settling still, nonetheless, because that's still not even a good pick. Just because you felt like he was honest. And I don't even feel like that was real. I feel like that was propaganda. People are not even intuitive enough to be able to use their discernment because we all spend our time the wrong way. People still have yet to realize that God has the final say, and God controls and runs the universe. The government is not above God. We have to spend more time with God so that we can align with our purposes, so that we can get our minds right enough to even figure out what our purposes are, and so that we can understand how to execute the assignments, right? Okay, so the government are just people. I feel like they are just people, and they occupy the same space as we do. I think that automatically puts us at a disadvantage when it comes to dealing with the government, because I think that the government is biased because of the human factor in the aspect. Like, we have to realize that no matter what, y'all, no one person has the capability mentally to be able to govern a whole country. Okay? They are human just like anybody else. So ultimately, we have to get back to the source, get back to praying, get back to feeding ourselves the right things, get back to doing the right things in order for us to really thrive and to get to a point where we can even make decisions in terms of ourselves and in terms of our family. So that's where I'm at with that. These notes are super long here, y'all, and I really was all over the place at first when I put this stuff, and I really was trying to get it all in one because I wanted y'all to really understand what I was saying, but it's been so much other stuff going on. So I have so much stuff here that I can't even really go into right now. But ultimately, I just want to bring it back to God governing us, okay? Because on a personal note, I've experienced so much adversity just this week alone, and last week just dealing with this podcast and getting so much negative feedback from it. And I feel like if we learn how to prioritize our emotions and learn how to get on the other side of just being emotionally out of control, then we will learn that self-hate and hate is not the answer. Okay? In no way. I don't understand, y'all, why we in this weird place now where we can't even support each other. I really just don't get why we have to see a person thriving and trying to better themselves, and the first thing that we want to do is try to shoot them down. I want to learn a better way of dealing with the fact that this is what I'm going to be dealing with. I have to figure out another way to kind of put my personal emotions to the side to figure out what is the best way for me to deal with this, because like I said, I put myself out here, so I got to understand what come with that. And I don't know. I just want y'all to give me some feedback on all of this stuff, because I really don't know when it comes to all of this. I don't know. And I'm just here. I'm just here confused. I'm just I really am, because I don't know. It's like when you try to do good, bad happens, but then you be like, okay, how should I respond to it? What should I do? Should I go at it in a negative way? Should I just take some time and just sit down and just relax and figure out the best way for me to deal with it? Because I do understand what's going on in our society. Like, I do understand that we are all at a disadvantage. I do understand that the world needs empathy. I do understand that the world needs love. I do understand that you have to be the change that you want to see. I do understand that no matter what, we are all human. And I've had really low lows. And I've had really high highs. But I'm not the type of person who just wants to try to throw my negative energy onto other people, especially when we up against stuff like the government, especially when we up against so many different other forces. I think that we really need to unify. I think that we really need to put all the negativity to the side and try to figure out another way to just be at peace and harmony with one another. And the thing is, like, I think that to a certain extent it's a such thing as burning bridges. But I was just saying how I want to be the type of person, nonetheless, who a person can walk up to and just be like, Damo, can you pray for me? Or inbox me or call me. I want to be so approachable and so humble and so graceful that people just say, Damo, can you pray for me? Because I will really pray for you. I don't care. I will pray for you, because I'd rather have that than have the negativity. Because like what I was just talking about is a real issue in society, and there's so many notes on here. Like, I'm gonna definitely have to break this down to try to figure out how we gonna go about dealing with a lot of this, because I have so much stuff in here, y'all. And of course we can't fit it all in one setting, and it's just too much to even try to break down right now, so I'm gonna come back to it later on. But I definitely want y'all to give me some insight. Let me know what y'all feel about my take on politics. Let me know what y'all feel about let me know what y'all feel about my take on letting God govern you. And I don't know, maybe we can exchange ideas. I think next week I'm gonna have somebody on here, so we can do a Q&A, and we can just do like some extra different stuff in terms of like vibing and just, you know, coming to grips with different opinions and just seeing what works. Okay, y'all, I love y'all so much. I will see y'all on the next episode. Thank you so much. Bye.